Welcome to the June Zoom finale, starring yours truly, ZoomZike. A few days ago, I asked for June Zoom video requests, and it's time to get through them all, with a few disclaimers. Similar requests have been grouped together. Nearly every request has an abridged response, which makes sense because imagine me making a full-fledged video for every one and playing them all in a row here. That'd take ages. Just because I covered a request here doesn't mean I won't make a full-fledged video inspired by it in the future. You're gonna hear me saying I haven't played a lot of games, by the way. That's what happens when you get diversity like this. Lastly, I'm basically recording this video in one take. I say basically because there will likely be a few audio edits, but still an incredibly small amount. This isn't a challenge I'm issuing myself, nor is it a flex. It's simply that a video of this length would not be able to come out in time if I did my usual audio editing. So get comfy and treat this pretty much like a live stream. It's been a fantastic month. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy the end. Sorry if I'm not as energetic. I'm sure you can tell that my voice is giving out a bit, but despite that, I'm gonna do my best, and let's do this. She says this guy are instead of this guy is because guy in this context is being used as a plural noun, meaning that the guy in question is actually comprised of multiple people, and I presume that those people are sick. Most memorable Sonic cutscene of all time. The animations are on point, the voice acting's legit, and I never thought that Sonic cutting Shadow off felt strange because it feels very in character for him to not let some guy dissing him finish his roast. Love his design and wackiness. I only wish we found out his true identity. Watch Arlo's video called Mario and Luigi Can't Replace Paper Mario. I share all his opinions with emphasis on the point that Paper Mario, at least in the earlier titles, lets itself be more serious, which leaves more opportunities for emotional pulls at the player. This can still somewhat exist in the Mario and Luigi series, but it's not as serious and more often thrives off of its fun, wacky silliness. Haven't played either Zelda Oracle games, I need to get more into Zelda sooner or later though. In Yoshi's Island DS, Kamek describes the Star Children as having an extraordinary amount of power. I think it'd be cool if they were related to the Star Spirits or Crystal Stars in some way. Universal taunt rules. Using a taunt at the beginning of a match means respect. Using a taunt after you kill someone means disrespect. Using a taunt after you've been killed means, hey, nice one. A taunt in response to that means, thanks. You all get L's for focusing so much on the L's. I have some Subspace videos I made before June Zoom if you want to check out those. Otherwise, I'd like the next Subspace video to be a big boy that covers the whole thing at once instead of these mini takes. The video makes me feel uncomfortable. Only played a little bit of the first Metroid Prime when I was younger. Looking back on some gameplay, it really knows how to lay on the atmosphere. Wish I could say I played a Metroidvania, but alas, I haven't. Only a little bit of Castlevania. Definitely want to dive into the Metroid series overall though in the future. Favorite Mario Kart is Double Dash, but not by much because it lacks retro courses. The art style is spot on. Each character has unique items, and they took a chance on a wacky mechanic that paid off. Wii is an extremely close second. I'd tier them, but honestly, they're all pretty close to one another. One of my favorite Mario songs is Try Try Again from Mario and Luigi Dream Team. It has an amazing build-up to a fierce climax that gives me chills whenever I listen to it. Inversely, the worst Mario song I've ever heard is the Yoshi Clan from Yoshi's New Island. The worst part? It starts trying later on and then just ends. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. You can make a childish song without it sounding like Well, I've used some tracks from the Grisaya visual novel series in my videos because they can be really beautiful. We'll talk more about Grisaya later though. Control Shtick, Book Squirm, TikTok Hop, Picture This, literally no button mashers, and the only luck-based minigame is Bowser's Big Blast. Plants are pretty cool, except the one that got into Smash instead of Waluigi. The idea of practicing extremely precise maneuvers over and over again in order to pull them all off in a row is not something I could ever see myself doing, especially not for a long game. I do a speedrun off the cuff, but that hardcore practicing stuff is a no-go for me. I do respect the amount of dedication speedrunners put towards their craft though, and the final results of their hard work always manages to astound me no matter what game I'm watching. Hard to say, I usually like it when my villains have interesting motivations, but with a series like Mario that isn't possible all the time. Super Paper Mario's main antagonist is pretty great, but honestly, Bowser's so iconic that he transcends my usual standards, so him. I was inspired to do Let's Plays or Let's Playing by Chugga Conroy a long time ago, but upon the release of Recollection and Rebirth, this channel's first video since my rebirth, I was heavily influenced by Digi, or DigiNay right now, who's done tons of anime analysis. The core videos that got me to thinking more about why I enjoy things was the Asterisk War Suck series where Digi thoroughly ripped apart the show with such detail and precision that I genuinely believe it's some of the greatest content on this website that will sadly get overlooked by non-anime fans, even though you don't need to like anime to learn a lot from it and appreciate it. I only played the first Luigi's Mansion, which is why it's the only one I've been confident enough to make a full video on. That third game is one I want to play though. My friends have already seen the Pixel video, and they hate me for it. I tend to imagine my thoughts visually and then come up with the words afterwards. I may think of City Escape, then how cool City Escape is, then go, man, what makes it so cool anyways? Then I'll think of its different sections and explain my feelings on them, stretch that out a bit more, and that's the general gist of how I draft an idea. I'll rewrite a part of a script over and over until it nails the point I want. If I'm unsure about a section, then I'll have my girlfriend read it and have her explain to me what she thinks I'm trying to say. This way, I have an idea of how my words are coming off and if any changes need to be made. If you write, then I highly recommend doing this. It's helped me out a lot. My main aspiration is to make content full-time since it's what I love doing and it'd give me more flexibility to spend time with my girlfriend. I was super happy that Min Min was the one that got in, since I knew it's what Etika would have wanted. I should have known it was her the moment the ramen shop was there. Guess I was too distracted by Captain Falcon slurping up noodles. His waiter outfit at the end of the trailer put a big ol' smile on my face. What a goofball. Also, don't remind me that Paper Mario can stretch his arms out now. I like collectathons, but not that much. I'd rather have a few episodic missions than get thrown into a sandbox of go find 'em. Super Mario Sunshine's blue coins are pretty fair for the most part until you start seeing ones that can only be collected in certain missions. There really should have been some kind of hint guide to help you find the ones you're missing. Maybe then the whole game wouldn't get so much flack for it. That one time I ate spaghetti? Pretty good. Already did one covering my level in Mario Maker 2. Otherwise, it needs a more specific search function. Let me search and choose which levels to play with my friends online, and don't shove me and my friends into a single player level if that's not what we want. You're crazy if you think I'm about to nutshell a Sonic tier list after what happened to my one for Mario, a series that way more people are unified on. I'll get to Sonic in his own video. Haven't played any Tony Hawk games before, which might be heresy because of all the platforms some of them have released on. I've actually never owned a PS2 now that I think about it. Yoshi's so excited to see Mario that he accidentally says it instead of is. We all mess up sometimes. Kirby's Epic Yarn is such a feels-good game. I can't imagine someone not getting fuzzy feelings just by looking at it. I really need to replay it sometime, man. Whom I time traveled to in my April Fool's video was simply me, but in the future. Whom I talked to in my June Zoom video was a different Zyke, not me. This Zyke said to call himself Future Zyke, but whether or not that is his Zyke classification is a different story. All we know is that this Future Zyke is always tied to 1 month ahead of my time, and that what I do in this present day can affect his timeline, for some reason. My favorite game changes a lot. Sometimes it's the Thousand Year Door, sometimes it's Kid Icarus Uprising, sometimes Danganronpa 2, and sometimes whatever Smash game is the most recent. They all have different parts I love about them, which I will cover in future videos. Harsh critiques for them? Oh man. Thousand Year Door's punies could be annoying at times, and the backtracking in Chapter 4 and especially Chapter 7 can get on my nerves. Kid Icarus Uprising's controls are a mess and should have been considered as a console game instead because of it. Danganronpa 2 flat out ignores a big plot point during one of the class trials, and it's never mentioned. Like, ever. It doesn't affect the overarching plot too much, but it's still pretty bad. Smash Ultimate's World of Light isn't nearly as charming as the Subspace Emissary. It's a bit of a downer. Least favorite game? Sticker Star. There are definitely worse standalone games that exist, but in terms of my raw disappointment, it can't be anything other than Sticker Star. Playing it felt like watching a good friend take the wrong path in life and not being able to do anything about it. Funny how a tier list was made after this comment was, huh? Odyssey's movement is so clean because Mario has a move for nearly every situation you'll find yourself in. A game's movement starts to feel off as soon as the level design doesn't complement what you as the player can actually do, or if just moving as the character feels clunky. Does my Mario Party Advance video count? Don't worry, I'll cover tons of things in the future. I need way more time to flesh out my opinion of modern gaming, but I'll stick with this for now. It feels like more and more developers are using DLC as an excuse to put less content in the main game. I'm okay with what Smash is doing because it's packed right out the box, but Mario Tennis Aces? What happened? Drybones was an NPC in the story mode of the game, playing tennis, yet he wasn't a playable character until he was added via free DLC months later. How is that possible? It's like they're treating DLC as a, hey, I'm still here kind of deal. It's gross. Mario Power Tennis comes with all of its characters, not to mention the content it has is way more charming with a more pretty aesthetic to boot. The opening cutscene is way funnier too, because it tells a whole story with Wario and Waluigi being envious of Mario and Luigi, training themselves up with Bowser, and ultimately duking it out at the end. Oh, and the bloopers too! Oh my gosh, if you haven't seen Mario Power Tennis and Mario Golf Toadstool Tour's intro videos and bonus bloopers, then take note of them right now and go watch them after you're done with this video. Ike is the best Fire Emblem Lord, not Alphonse. I thought we talked about this, but Alphonse can take second place if you want. But nothing sucks as much as Mario Kart 8 does. I kid. Maybe. Have you seen Waluigi? I don't need to explain why he's the ultimate life form. Whee! A lot of the times with the level, it's apparent that the developers designed it as a level first and a location second. If it is a location, if it is a location. With Bianco Hills, I get the impression that they designed it as a location first and a level second. The village is quite believable, as if as is the windmill that overlooks it. You get the impression that this is a real place in the game's lore, and that makes it amazing for a different reason than, your stereotypical level design. It plays into the imagination we have as kids. Don't remind me of Mario's floating head, please. Baby, don't hurt me. No. Let Sonic show more emotions other than a smile, please. Neon Genesis Evangelion is top priority for me to watch right now. I've heard too much good of how it's impacted anime, and I want to experience it as soon as possible. He's not. I love Nintendo's consoles. They're always trying something new for the most part, and I really respect that. Where are they going to go after the Switch, though? Like VR, maybe?
Dumplings!
Throwing Sonic into these storybook settings was a really cool idea that kinda paid off. Secret Rings' controls feel terrible to me. Black Knight's is a little better, but not by much. The cutscenes are top tier though, as is Sonic's characterization. I wouldn't go out of my way to play either of them, but I wouldn't hard diss them either. Honestly, I need to take a better look at each one to form more fully fleshed out opinions. Did you just call Identifying Luck a review? It'll come out when it comes out, don't you worry. I love Danganronpa. Learning about Learning about a unique cast of characters just to watch them die one by one and having to figure out the methods that were used to kill them in order to discover who the killer was just for them to also be a killer you liked or a character you liked, and now they have to die too because they killed someone is awesome. A setting I'd love to see a Danganronpa game tackle is an amusement park. Not a small part of one, but an entire amusement park. Which is funny considering the creator of Danganronpa, Kodaka, is making a different game set in an amusement park. But I think it'd fit well for Dango Bongos. What if someone got killed on a Ferris wheel, but how they died had something to do with the rotation of the Ferris wheel? Or imagine all the characters are having fun on a roller coaster, they go through a dark tunnel for like about 20 seconds, and when they come out, someone's dead in their seat. There's so many ways you can ruin, amusement parks for people. It's great. By the way, my favorite chapter of the series is 2-5. I may talk about it in the future. When I think about Mario music, catchy and peaceful tunes are what come to mind. For Sonic, I always think of rockin' tunes that get me energetic and hyped. They both have tons of tunes that range towards all kinds of emotions, but I feel like they each excel at different things. My preference? Depends on the mood I'm in, but overall Mario takes the edge by a little bit. Kyoto Animation's productions always manage to capture my heart one way or another. The way they make characters move so fluidly really sells the immersion into the worlds they present. Clannad, an anime they worked on and one that I covered in a previous June Zoom video, really benefited from these personal touches that make the joyful and melancholy scenes all that more impactful. They seem to treat their employees well too, and I hope they can start a ripple effect across the entire anime industry to improve working conditions. It broke my heart to hear about the arson attack on their building though. It just shouldn't have happened. I wish them the best. Ganondorf's up tilt is one of the most satisfying moves to land in any game, period. It's harder for me to think of Final Sonic levels than beginning ones because I haven't played them as much. Final Rush is the only one I can remember super well because of how often I played it. There are so many skips, big and small, that you can take if you're skilled enough, which feels awesome. The location in general is pretty sick too. I played through Celeste's main story earlier this year and plan on 100%ing it soon. I recommend it to anyone that loves a challenging 2D platformer. It controls like a dream, tests you fairly, and has a heartwarming story to boot. Hang Castle, not Mystic Manor, Hang Castle, which takes place outside more. It's a sick concept with some neat platforming, but sometimes I go, what were they thinking? Okay. So these flames are indicative of an invisible pathway the player can walk on. The beginning and end of the pathway is marked by torches. All of these invisible paths have been a straight line so far, from one set of torches to the next. And then there's this path. Similar setup, right? Straight line connecting each pair of torches. There's even a goodie smack dab in the middle of the path. So you, very understandably, run forward and bam! There's a jarring right turn in the path, and if you were running forward, then you just fell off. This, ladies and gentlemen, is bad game design. You don't teach a player one thing just to twist the formula in a dishonest way. It's frustrating. If we're talking about ice pops, then I've only seen the Sonic one, and it's great. Funko Pops, they're okay. A little basic for me, but they're okay. Oh boy. We're getting to the Paper Mario one now, aren't we? I disagree. I think Color Splash is both a bad Paper Mario game and a bad game in general. A lot of my gripes with it are shared with Sticker Star, by the way, so if you wanted me to talk about Sticker Star, just apply a lot of the things to that as well. Also here, I won't even mention past Paper Mario games, okay? The currency is basically worthless because you mainly use them to buy your attacks, which makes you wonder what the point of regular battles even are if they're just gonna waste your attacks. To get coins, we already talked about why they don't mean much. Leveling up your paint bucket so you have more paint? Who cares? It doesn't have much value anyways. You'll rarely be low, and even if you are, the enemies literally crumple with the slightest touch. Attacking itself can be a pain too. Look at your gamepad, scroll through your cards, place the card you want, select card ready, select done painting, flip the card up, and now you're attacking. Oh, but that's only if the card you selected was full of color to begin with. If it doesn't have any color, then add in the step where you put pressure on it, wait for it to fill up, and now you can attack. These menus are clunky, annoying, and don't respect your time. The bosses look samey, which drains any tension from the chapter because you're already pretty sure of what you're gonna fight next. The locations aren't creative, they're based on simple environments with a paper edge to them. There has to be someone on the team developing this game that had some cool environmental ideas but was brushed aside. Sucks for them. There's a hideous white outline on all the characters. Why did they think putting a white outline on top of an already existing black outline would look good. They clash with one another hard for me, and I just don't understand what the point was. To make things look more paper-like? If I drew something on a piece of paper, would you really need a white outline in order to know it was drawn on a piece of paper? Course not. You know it's paper because of its texture, thinness, and many other properties besides a white outline that distracts from the main piece. The only parts of Color Splash I enjoy is its funny dialogue, Rochambeau temples, which were pretty clever, and the idea of restoring color to the world, not the execution, since they didn't explore the concept well enough. To fix Sticker Star or Color Splash, just don't do the bad things listed, or I listed, and bam, I won't find the games nearly as unfun. This is what happens when you get me talking about Paper Mario, by the way. You did this to yourself. Sometimes a Danganronpa death will come out of nowhere, and sometimes you'll see it coming. It's different depending on the person that's playing the game and what foreshadowing they pick up on. I haven't played a Devil May Cry game, although I do plan on it. From what I've seen, the combos look pretty sick. The only Roblox game I've played was, this chef one where you were running your own restaurant, and that was for a solid 5 minutes before I got bored. Needless to say, I haven't played Roblox since. I played Splatoon 1, but not Splatoon 2. It's a fantastic example of a unique concept that was fully fleshed out by a team that believed in what they were working on. It represents the kind of direction I wish more games would go in. Take more chances, but have some quality control when you do. That's also how we got Breath of the Wild. Splatoon itself, I thought was pretty fun, but it wasn't really my thing. Guess I wish there were more than 8 players in a battle at once. Only having 3 teammates for that kind of game makes me feel a little lonely. I will make a Super Mario RPG video in the future, although I'm not feeling a bestiary for it. The idea isn't out of the picture, but I think it'd benefit from something else. Just not sure what yet. Haven't played a Persona game, but I'm planning on going through 4 or 5 pretty soon. Looks like a series that'd be right up my alley. I covered Delfino Plaza in a June Zoom video if you'd like to count that as a Mario level. I mean, I do. I count it as a hub world level hybrid, but, as well as my TikTok clock, which I really like. Honestly though, it's hard to say what my favorite Mario level is. I guess stick with Delfino Plaza for now. I haven't played many RPGs. If we're talking non-Nintendo, then probably Xenoblade Chronicles. But even then, I feel like it can be topped for me. My brother and I would play through the Thousand Year Door, but had this rule where I controlled Mario and he controlled whatever partner was out at the time, which led to altercations when it came to attacking and defending against moves. Haven't played Luigi's Mansion 3, but I can say for sure that the first Luigi's Mansion has a better atmosphere than Dark Moon. It actually knows how to make the mansion dark instead of less bright. Luigi's more scared in the first one too, which in turn makes us feel a bit more on edge. Can't say anything more until I play more of Dark Moon and its sequel. There's so many galaxies. How can I choose a favorite? The one that sticks out in my head the most is Toy Time Galaxy, but I can't even be sure on that because I love Freeze Flame and so many others, jeez. Alright, you want a Mario Party tier list? Here you go, Mario Party tier list. S tier, 3 and 6. A tier, 2, 7, and DS. B tier, F, 5 and 8, C tier 4, D tier 1, L tier every other Mario Party probably. Haven't played them enough myself. Oh, you want reasoning for every game's placement? Well, too bad. That's for a different video. I love the final boss for the Thousand Year Door and Bowser's Inside Story for reasons I can't exactly explain here, but you know why they're cool if you've played the games. Bad Mario boss battles? Honestly, probably one from Sunshine. Maybe the Boo Under the Hotel? I hear people who hate that one, but I didn't have much trouble with it as a kid. Maybe I just got lucky. Wario is the canonical winner of the first Mario Party title, because in Mario Party 2's opening, he says the location should be called Wario Land since he's the superstar. One could argue that Wario was lying here, but keep in mind that Toad was the one narrating everything to us, and probably would have corrected the mistake. After 2, they get stuck in a storybook, then in 4, it's someone's birthday, yada yada. Mario Party lore is too complicated, way more than Kingdom Hearts. Bruh. Yeehaw! Sorry for not reading all the comments, I hope covering them all works though. The goal themes from Mario Strikers Charged are awesome. I didn't know about the Boo and Toad references. I was too busy jamming out to Luigi's song. Why did they feel the need to go so hard on it? Tanks is so fun that it's worth purchasing Wii Play for it alone. I'm not kidding, that's not an exaggeration. Solid level design that teaches you how each enemy tank functions, tight controls, cute sound effects, the whole package. I wish this game had its own standalone deal, complete with online multiplayer and a mode to make your own custom levels. Why did you remind me of it? I almost feel like going to go and play it again right now. The hidden spectacle of the Mario Party series is that every player has way more control over the results of a game than they think they do. Go watch my Identifying Luck series if you're interested in Mario Party. If you meant spectacle as in a performance, then I'm not sure what hidden performance Mario Party has. They're just playing a big old board game. My introduction to Mario Party began with Mario Party 5, followed by 2 on the Virtual Console, and then 7 back on the GameCube. I don't like the term guilty pleasure. You shouldn't feel guilty about liking something unless it's something flat out morally wrong. But I know what you're asking. I'd say reaction videos. They're incredibly low effort and ridiculously easy to make, but I genuinely enjoy seeing others' reactions to stuff I love because they remind me of my own first reactions to said stuff. It's just nice seeing people be happy too, you know? Bobbery's my favorite by far. Can't say too much because spoilers. Yeah, spoilers for a Mario game, I know, but if you haven't played the Thousand Year Door yet, then I want you to see Bobbery's backstory blind, please. It struck a chord with me, and it actually hurts to remember what he's experienced. Besides that, he's just awesome. An Admiral Boban with a huge mustache and a snazzy sailor hat, he doesn't even have a normal wind-up key. It's the helm of a ship instead. His way of speech is cool too, calling Mario old sport and commanding respect from others. What a great character. If we're talking about the original Paper Mario, then probably Bo, because I can't get enough of her cocky personality. Haven't fully played a Final Fantasy game, only did a little bit of 7. Also, 4. It's only contributed to the canon. It's only contributed to the canon in our hearts. Haven't played Hollow Knight. Plan on it though, since it looks clean. I have hundreds upon hundreds of hours poured into Terraria. It's easily one of my top 5 most played games. It's a phenomenal action, adventure, sandbox game that just keeps on giving, especially with the newest update that's come out, Journey's End, and the Steam Workshop integration, which has basically given this game immortality. I can't wait to play it again. Zoom to my YouTube channel! I'd say the Ice Climbers are way better designed in Smash Bros. Than the game they came from. Have you tried playing Ice Climbers for the NES? Moving feels awful, and the hitbox detection for landing on solid ground is atrocious. I think a vertical platforming game is a cool idea that the Ice Climbers should tackle again, but with movements that feel more fluid this time, like their Smash counterparts. Don't know anything about it. It's not. What's wrong with you? Oh gosh, something about this show rubs me the wrong way. I don't want to know how his physics work. You said NPC, not villager, so Cap'n. I have tons of memories of the silly jokes he's made while I'm on my way to the island in New Leaf. So funny, dude. If you meant villager, then I'm not exactly sure, honestly. Probably friggin' Apollo, the eagle. I drink water 99% of the time. Screw anything else. Probably. Pianta Village towers over every other place in the game, except for Corona Mountain, and it's spectacular because of that. My favorite part about it is seeing all the Piantas gathered around, singing and dancing. Stuff like that is what gets me immersed into a game. They're all awesome, yes, even King Slime. Worst video suggestions, does this include yours? Touhou is a series of madness where it expects you to dodge waves upon waves of bullets, except that your hitbox is way smaller than you actually think it is, so it's not that hard. I've played a bit of one of the games, but not much else. I'd say it's on the back burner for series I want to get into. You want menu design love? Go check out my Michiko Sakurai's history and gaming video. AI in Mario Party will simply do what benefits them most, or, target first place, or what feels like the human player, most of the time. A full video covering what I'd like to see in a game world is a nice idea, and one I'll take up in the future so people can have a good grasp of where I'm coming from with all this immersion talk. This pattern is used for settings because it's easy and safe. Easy because developers don't have to flex their creativity making a brand new environment when they could just copy one from real life. Safe because these environments are familiar to people and have a lower chance of resulting in disappointment because of it. Why is it bad? Because it's giving us stuff we've already seen instead of exploring unique locations that actually take advantage of being a work of fiction. I did it! There's this one called UPS Man by Value Select, which I think is pretty funny, but that one's exactly 30 seconds. Other than that, Virtual Checkpoint from Yogurt Cat really got me. Probably the Koopa Troopas. I always played Koopa Troopa in Mario Power Tennis because I love sliding around in his shell. Sticker Star has a couple cool concepts that it messes around with, and its exploration can be pretty neat at times, I guess. My favorite Mario Kart courses are TikTok Clock from Mario Kart 8 and Waluigi Pinball. Both of their concepts are really nutty, involving players racing around inside of a machine, and they take advantage of that by incorporating different parts of the machine into the track. Other ones I love are Sunshine Airport, Royal Raceway from Mario Kart 8, Yoshi Circuit from Double Dash, and Coconut Mall. I think Mario Kart 8 has a pretty solid track layout overall, but I really want something new with a new Mario Kart 9, come on! I already talked about my favorite Pokemon in the previous June Zoom video. Sword and Shield? I'd rather save my full opinion on modern Pokemon for the future, since a nutshelled response would no doubt get torn apart. It's not positive, though. I actually think City Escape is peak Sonic game design is one of the highest quality videos I've released on my channel thus far. Everything about it is perfect, from the tight script to the crisp commentary and clean editing. I did a follow-up to it in the same style with Lost Valley, so take a look at that one if you haven't already. I will make more videos like those in the future though. Played a bit of Colosseum, but no Gale of Darkness. Partly because my dad helped me through some of the harder parts like the eel boss battle in Noki Bay. Also because I'm good at video games, what can I say? I'll do a Sunshine speedrun someday. It sounds like fun. Sonic is an alien. Have you seen his mono eye? The big eel from Super Mario Sunshine, yeah, we're going back to that. It scared me so much as a kid, and that's why my dad had to beat him for me. A great sequel tends to build upon the fundamentals of what came before it, whilst also having its own personal twist. For example, Thousand Year Door builds upon the fundamentals of the original Paper Mario by giving players more options during battle, letting partners have more backstory, and having more side content for players to sink their teeth into. Some personal twist it took was having a darker tone, wackier set pieces, and the idea of all battles taking place on a stage. I'd call Super Paper Mario a good sequel too, despite being in a different genre. Why? Because although it doesn't have the fundamental Paper Mario gameplay, it has the heart of the series in the form of its characters, settings, and story. I've only played a bit of the Monkey Ball series, but I've seen so many wacky speedruns of it. The concept is great, and I'm absolutely going to play through some of its games in the future though, don't you worry. I already talked about what I'd like to see in a Mario and Sonic game in a previous June Zoom video. Go check it out. Don't have enough experience with Mario Party DS to make a video on it, but I won't count it out entirely for the future. The Sonic movie played it pretty safe, but I enjoyed myself. I liked watching Eggman slowly turn into Eggman as the movie went on. Sonic's character felt great too, and I actually wasn't annoyed by Tom. He was a cool character too. I'd watch a sequel. I may diss Galaxy for a few things, but don't get me wrong, I do love the series, which I'll show some more in future videos. Which Smash Bros tier list? Regardless, the main tier lists have been crafted based on the favorable matchups each character has against each other character in their roster. It may not be 100% accurate, but it's a good baseline for which characters are probably pretty good. Already made a Mario Party Advance video. Lost Valley is peak Sonic game design because once you experience it, literally any other Sonic level will feel like a dream. The way Koopa Cake takes you from ridges of a mountain to a downward stream veering left and right, eventually pouring into a pipe, is just awesome. I actually think that the Mario and Sonic series peaked at the 2012 London Games because of all the dream events. Can't say I like everything that came afterwards though, due to the repetitiveness. I don't Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, so I wouldn't know, I'm sorry. Haven't played Bug Fables yet, but I absolutely will because of all the talk I've heard about it equaling and perhaps surpassing Paper Mario in many aspects. Why? I like to make a fully fleshed out video for what my kind of Sonic game would look like, but to keep it short, I simply want controls similar to that of the adventure titles. It doesn't have to be exact. Maybe add some of the parkour stuff he can do in Lost World, but make it flow better. Get rid of the reticle because I think it's a little cheesy. Let Sonic do tricks in the air after he destroys someone to bring in more personality. Bring back power-ups. Chow, of course, I can go on. Just wait for a big video on this. I haven't played as many platform fighters as I would have liked actually. I really should though. How do you use the wacky watch? Oh, well, you see, it's quite simple. You just poke the wacky watch here and My name is Jeff. Waluigi Amiibo, here we go! I actually, I haven't listened to either of Galaxy's soundtracks enough to make a proper comparison, but I remember more tracks from the first game simply because I've played it more. The Kirby series has way more lore than people realize. You'd be surprised. I'll almost never prefer a handheld port of a console game just because I like larger screens. What about Super Mario 64 DS though, ZoomZike? I love it, but man, screw the D-pad. The mistake from any Paper Mario. That's some good stuff. Zoom took my name. Part of the reason I didn't finish my Ocarina of Time Let's Play was because I just didn't enjoy the game that much. The controls felt a bit clunky, the art style didn't capture my attention, and I felt that the dungeons were less unique once you were adult Link. I should really make a video on Ocarina of Time after playing through the whole thing, eventually. If I listed every hat I knew, then this video would turn into TF2. Ew. Haven't played Pikmin, but know a bit about it. Speaking of which, is there any news on Pikmin 4? Didn't Miyamoto say it was close to completion years ago? What the heck? The L emblem is the best badge, of course. Haven't played it, sorry. Dang, we're getting pretty meta here. I respect Mario for consistency, and I respect Sonic for trying out new things. I think both series can learn from one another, but I've gotta hand it to Mario. He just gets more polished games out on a regular basis. One day after coming home from school, I wanted to play some Animal Crossing on my GameCube. Just to find out that my memory card was corrupted. I immediately and naively went to check on my Chow Garden from Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, hoping they were safe, but of course, they were all gone. That absolutely devastated me as a child. I can't draw a video, silly. Here's a Mario outfit I used to wear, created in the program called Real Life. Haven't played it, but it looks pretty cool. No spoilers, but Danganronpa V3's ending is one of the most unique endings I've ever seen to a video game. I both loved it and hated it at the same time. Even now, I'm not sure what my opinion of it is. Message me over Twitter so I can specifically tell you since I can't spoil everyone here. Not as much as you think actually, 102. I'd certainly play a Sunshine remake with new nozzles and levels, but man, Sunshine does not need a remake. It already looks and plays great. You want to know what does need a remake? Super Mario RPG. There are too many people that haven't played that game despite it being amazing. I feel like a modernized remake with updated graphics will let people experience the same feelings of love I had for it. Again, I'd still take a Sunshine remake though. Screw Monty Moles, always digging around and tripping people. What importance do they serve? Please tell me. I like setting my profile icons and banners to my favorite fictional characters, Komaeda from Danganronpa 2 and L from Death Note being high up there, especially Komaeda. He's one of the most engaging characters I have ever come across. I could only dream of writing a character as interesting and complex as him. I used the NoClip website for my Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door Bestiary video. It's an amazing tool that I'm really surprised hasn't been used in more videos. Part of me hopes it isn't used more so I can feel special. Haven't played the Golden of the Sun. I will eventually though. Thank you, I hope you have a wonderful day. It's hard to imagine Daisy or Pauline in their own standalone game, honestly. Nothing springs to mind. But do you have any idea how funny a Wario and Waluigi RPG would be? Oh my gosh, the script would write itself. Modern Sonic cutscenes just lack that oomph, you know? In earlier games, there was a build-up over a few cutscenes at least, with one cutscene hitting ya with everything it had at once. But now the developers expect you to feel something within a quick moment. It comes off as really forced. Are Mars bars good? Haven't tried them. The highlight of the Mario Party 3 streams is when I lost because Peach went to Bowser multiple times for no reason, even though it wouldn't help her. Sonic Heroes has some of the coolest level designs I've seen in Sonic games. You get whipped around to so many different set pieces and rewards. It's a shame that its physics keep me from loving it as much as I want to. Also, it reuses stages a lot. My Chao Garden on Steam has recreations of my first Chao, Lucky, and my brother's first Chao, Zaki. Then I had some character Chao along with Chao that I named after anime characters. Speaking of which, the Clannad series. It's not even my favorite thing or favorite show, but it gets to the heart of what family is all about. If everyone watched it and understood the messages it was trying to say, then I think the world would be a much better place. Sunshine doesn't provide as many platforms to jump on like 64 does, and that's because it builds its levels around FLUDD and your ability to hover and, rocket around. You can really feel this when climbing up the huge tree in Pianta Village. Imagine platforming that thing with 64's controls. What a nightmare! Super Paper Mario has a sick concept. Flipping between 2D and 3D platforming is totally bonkers, and the game sets up some really neat puzzles with it. Flipside is an awesome hub world with a unique cast of characters that all have their own thing going on. Not to mention there's Flopside, which only doubles the amount of people you get to see. Getting to play as characters other than Mario is always a treat, and some of the locations you visit are really charming, like that one samurai place. You know what happens there. Oh, and also how about that, Geek's Kingdom? What a fever dream. You've also got tons of minigames and 2 big challenges in the form of the Pit of 100 Trials for both Flipside and Flopside. Really cool game, and, Mr. L is awesome too. I made the Clannad one recently, so I hope you saw that. I do plan on making more anime content, regardless if my viewers like anime at all. Come on guys, I know what's good, I wouldn't lie to you. Today's sponsor is not Raid Shadow Legends. You can get that out of here. The visual and audio effect for when you collect a coin in a Mario game should be illegal. It feels that good. I only wish that coins held more value in Mario games. Why don't they? I can think of so many things or, stuff to buy for an in-game shop, platformer, RPG, whatever. It's just so weird, isn't it? The button mashing in the final boss of Bowser's Inside Story. I don't know how the developers expected a kid to button mash that fast. I needed my mom to do it for me. Greatest Pokemon game? I haven't played one in such a long time, but I've got to hand it to Heart Gold and Soul Silver. It just had so much content. How do you beat a game that has 2 regions? And do I even have to say it? The fact that Kanto is one of those regions means Jolteon is easily obtainable, baby. Woo! Honestly, I haven't had many games that connected with me emotionally. There are games that I can get emotional about, but when you say connected with emotionally, that sounds a bit deeper, Even the Danganronpa series, with how it's managed to pull my emotions all sorts of ways, didn't meld with me emotionally. I never cried or anything. I feel like for something like that to have an effect on me, then it'd have to be an RPG, where I really connect with one of the characters, but I haven't gotten that yet. This happens to me with a few anime characters, as you can probably tell, but video games? Not so much. Admittedly, I do need to broaden my horizons a bit more, though. Okay, here's an idea for a Mario game. He jumps. What do you mean the lack of Darn it, dude, I was trying to do it properly. What do you mean the lack of modern Sonic? That's the one right now. Are you asking why we haven't seen many Sonic games come out recently? If that's the case, then I sure hope it's because Sega's working plenty hard on the next one. Why'd you have to go and throw in something so wholesome? It's comments like these that kind of blindside me and make me love what I do even more. Thank you. I haven't played Galaxy 2 as much as Galaxy 1, so I can't be exactly sure. I tout Galaxy's atmosphere way above Galaxy 2's, but the latter has more content in certain areas. If you want a more in-depth answer, then go watch my Mario Games tier list video and skip to the part where I talk about the galaxies. Oh, I would love to do a Mario 64 speedrun at some point. I should stream that. I actually played a lot of Hearthstone when it first came out. I mained Hunter and loved tricking people into hurting their own troops and themselves. There's something about moves in games where you can make an opponent hurt themselves that's so funny to me. Whether it's Mario's cape in Smash, Genji's deflect in Overwatch, or even Magic Cylinder in Yu-Gi-Oh! Moves where I can have my opponent spell their own doom take the cake. Ultimate disrespect. I don't play Hearthstone anymore though, so a beginner's guide is off the table. 10 out of 10. What else can I say? The Donkey Kong TV show is a masterpiece of animation, only topped by DK's beautiful singing performances, which sound way better than you'd imagine them to be. Oh, trust me, everything I've said about Paper Mario up until this point has been a warm-up to a series retrospective in the future. I think I'll wait until I play Origami King though, since the timing would feel off otherwise. I do want to play Super Mario Land. It's on the top of my tier list. I really said tier list. It's also on my list of things I want to get to. I keep saying that, but I really should make an actual list of this stuff. I never considered the Pianta Parlor before, huh? But what you need to understand is that I don't specialize in statistics, never have. Don't mix up all that talk with what I actually do, which is find little things that players can do to combat luck. I guess when framed that way, identifying luck shouldn't be called, or I guess when framed that way, identifying luck should be called overcoming luck, huh? Doesn't have the same ring to it though. While I respect what it's done and what it does a lot, I'm not the biggest fan of Minecraft. I don't know, it just gives me a really sad vibe whenever I play, which the music doesn't help at all. Honestly, that should be a testament to how good the game is at building up an atmosphere, but it's one that I can't handle all too well unless I'm playing with others, and even then, I still might feel out of it. Speedrunning and challenge runs for the game sound interesting, haven't seen one before though. Persona. I'd say Phoenix Wright, but I've already played a bit of the first game. I just love Persona's aesthetic, and all the passion that's been poured into the series, yet I haven't touched any of their games. The reason? I've never owned a PlayStation console. Until recently, so I can't wait to dive in when it's time. Man, do I like Luigi more than Mario, or have I been getting brainwashed by the public to think that? Not sure, so I'd have to put them at around even. Super Mario Party screwed up when it thought giving each character their own dice block was a good idea. Now that's when some characters are better than others, which I just don't think should be a thing in the series. I know in a title or two that characters have their own special orbs, but those aren't nearly as game-breaking as these unique dice blocks, which turns everything on its head. All it has to do, fundamentally, is keep the players about equal. Give us imaginative boards with cool gimmicks, and maybe introduce an overall concept of the game that changes how we play Mario Party in a not broken way. I don't think I'll ever make an identifying luck for this game. Side content in games can be really special to a player since they'll get this feeling of, oh, not everyone's done this before, which I know makes me feel special. Xenoblade Chronicles has an enormous amount of side quests you can do, and they're pretty dang fun. A game doesn't have to offer an insane amount of side content for me to be satisfied, but it's always cool to see ideas thrown around in the background that couldn't make it to the main part of the game. Rap on the next request? Oh my gosh, okay. Mario Party, pretty hardy, just sit back and see me create a brand new board for just you and me. 4 whole places juxtaposed, anti-gravity is the gimmick of this board, just you wait and see. You can hop around and land on a space, which will turn you upside down and slam you on your face. Or you can take the long way, it's your call as you conquer gravity in a whacked out ball. Oh, I'm sorry. I listen to all of them, but Sonic and Eggman's themes hit kinda different. Okay, conspiracy theory? I think all of the stuff Red sells are fakes, but he makes a couple of them obvious to make the real looking ones look all the more genuine. Cause like you said, how in the world would he even get his hands on that stuff? They've gotta all be fakes. I don't care what Blathers says. The best Nintendo game to start with might be Brawl. Think about it. You get introduced to a massive cast of diverse characters both in gameplay and through the Subspace Emissaries cutscenes. If you really like one of the characters you see, then you can happily take a dive into their series, and if they don't work out, then you can choose a different character you see in Smash. It's kind of like this hub world for video game characters that would really stick with you, you know? My first Dragon Ball game was Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2, which I thought was fun, but characters controlled a bit samey. More recently, I've played Dragon Ball Tenkaichi 3 with a friend, or Tenkaichi 3 with a friend. And I've gotta say, it's the best one out of all that I've played. Super tight and responsive, with character differences that I can appreciate. There's a lot of little details and references too. Super cool. Rocks. Some of the sickest custom Mario Party boards I've seen or ever seen has come from Ursula, who's helped me with the Identifying Luck series. She's made some awesome stuff. Go play some of her custom boards on the Mario Party Netplay Discord server if you feel like it. They're always playing. This sounds evil, but I dig it. One day. Hard to think of a video game childhood crush I had. I guess the closest would be Rosalina? But that'd be pushing it a little, since I more so admired her as a person after learning about her backstory rather than viewing her as a crush. Do you want me to be here forever? The only canon Mario games are the ones Waluigi is in. That's it. Yeah, I'll do more live streams in the future, including ones that, have more people involved. Okay, you got it. 4444 4444 4444 4444 444. I love the WarioWare microgames and think they do their jobs pretty well. They're simple and straightforward enough for someone to figure out what the point is within a few seconds. If they want another Mario and Luigi game to sell, then they need to add Wario and Waluigi to make a 4-man team. Do you have any idea how hilarious an RPG with all 4 of these characters working together would be? Come on! Alright, confession time. I haven't beaten World of Light, so I haven't seen anything more than the first cutscene. But when I saw that first cutscene, oh man was I hyped. I thought we were about to get something crazy, but, we didn't get many cutscenes afterwards. The main difference is that Sonic Adventure's levels tend to be more open than Sonic Adventure 2's, which tend to be more focused. A Nintendo kart would be awesome, not sure what you're hung up on. Imagine all the courses we could race in, spanning from series to series. It'd be a blast. Also, you can't tell me you wouldn't love to see Ganondorf in a tiny little buggy. Come on now. I don't like the kart series enough to do anything like that. Writing a Smash Bros. Story mode is a great idea for a future video. I think I'll do that. First time I've heard of a Snake Pass? Didn't read that right. But man, does it look stressful. I'm good for now. The worst cutscene ever is Mario getting convicted in court for no reason. Screw those guys. From a technical standpoint, I don't have one. I probably forgot it because it was that bad. Silver Gunner's rips are great. Some of my favorites are the Super Mario World athletic theme because of how much it fits, Unknown from ME because I'm super immature apparently, and Windy Hill Zone 1 because it's basically the meme anthem. Melody's pretty, yeah, but she's kind of a brat, throwing a massive tantrum if you don't guess what song she's playing and even goes as far as to attack you with paper. Above all else, Teldrassil from World of Warcraft is the coolest tree I've seen in gaming. It's so huge that it houses an entire nation in the middle of the ocean, not to mention it's really pretty too. How in the world am I supposed to do all of that? I've beaten SA2 on stream before, I think. What's fixing to speed? Super Mario 64's title screen is still probably the best one I've seen. How can you top messing around with Mario like that? It's great. An entire playthrough in the style of my one takes, I'd have to mentally prepare myself for years to pull something like that off. But it does sound interesting. I don't remember there being anything peculiar about her car at the beginning, just seemed like a regular intro to me. The Grisaya visual novel series is one that's incredibly important to me, and yet I haven't made a video on it. No doubt because I'm still trying to find the right words to communicate it to people that aren't really into anime. For now. Let's start. The protagonist, Kazumi Yuji, is an assassin for a Japanese government agency, and due to the harsh demands that he's had to meet ever since he was a child, he decided that he wanted a normal high school life where he could relax. Can you blame the guy? He didn't want a public school though. No. He wanted something a bit more private to suit his needs, but unbeknownst to him, his classmates had psychological issues just as bad, if not worse, than he did in some areas. It's at this point where he learns about each of the girls over time, and the player's given a choice of which route to go on. Yeah, you can view it as a harem, but it's so much more than that. Reading this, frankly, genius character's thoughts and learning about him as a person got me hooked. One morning, he said this, "It's impossible to weigh one kind of unhappiness against another. Even, say, the sadness of a man who has lost a lifelong friend and the bitter sulking of a young girl forced to eat her carrots before dessert. There's no scale by which we can objectively measure misery. People have their tendency to judge themselves happier or unhappier relative to others, but such comparisons rest on a flawed assumption that we all think and feel alike. Another's misfortune may seem trivial to you, but if it brings genuine distress and suffering, anything can be a tragedy. He'll just monologue like that in his head, just at random intervals sometimes, which actually kickstarted my own habit of doing the same thing some years ago, which led to some of the videos I've created. The footage I've been showing is from the anime adaptation, by the way, but it, of course, was only made to promote the visual novel, which is much better. I'll make a Grisaya video in the future, but I just gotta figure out how to do it properly. It's not. Watching Fawful go from a lackey to an underground dealer towards babies to the main antagonist was a pretty cool progression that you don't see often with Mario villains. Normally it's just Bowser, but Fawful actually does reoccur. Also, your jokes give me chortles. A cutscene dub of Paper Mario? That sounds like fun, but I don't know which parts would be included in the story and which parts wouldn't. I haven't seen many problems regarding this myself, but that might just be due to the fact that I mainly play cartoony games. If it is an issue, then it should obviously be looked into and fixed. The idea of high-speed racing on a magical rainbow in space is mystifying. How can you not love that for the concept alone? Now that I think about it, I've never made an official standalone announcement to my Patreon, huh? Guess that's something for a future update video. I don't fully know the character in your profile icon, but goldfish are a pretty dark snack when you think about it. They smile at you as you eat them. Ugh. July Zoom? More like Cry Zoom. I haven't played New Super Mario Bros. 2 or New Super Luigi U, but from what I remember, I had the most fun playing New Super Mario Bros. Wii with all my friends. Oh, I've seen all the Shrek films when I was young, but can't remember them well enough to rank them. I remember enjoying them a lot, though, especially Puss in Boots, which isn't exactly a Shrek film, kinda, whatever. Oh, thank you for reminding me about all the Bros attacks. They're easily one of the best parts of the Mario and Luigi series. I love the quick ones in Superstar Saga, the endless ones in Partners in Time, and the wacky ones in Bowser's Inside Story. You can't make me choose, really, you can't. My favorite tabletop RPG is Talisman, which I have in real life and on Steam, even though it's really buggy. I hope they fix that. One of my favorite characters to play is the Chivalrous Knight, where you go around helping enemy players in order to get rewards for yourself. I like to pretend I'm saving the day whenever this happens, like, "Stop, fiend, I am here, hands off!" Bowser's Inside Story is my favorite Mario and Luigi game, because getting to play as Bowser in the overworld and Mario and Luigi from within him is a sick idea that was pulled off really well. You could play as Bowser in other games, sure, but here your special moves were centered around his minions that you fought over the years. Isn't that awesome? I don't know much about the remake and honestly didn't pay attention to it. Guess I was just frustrated with Alpha Dream shoehorning Paper Mario into Paper Jam without understanding what made Paper Mario so special in the first place. A nostalgia tier list? Sonic Adventure 2 Battle would be at the top because of the Chow Garden. I spent hundreds of hours into that thing while I was a kid. Besides that, Super Mario Sunshine. Newsflash, you need to eat food, just don't overdo it. Seems like a cute little game that was whipped up quick. Not much to say other than it feels like Nintendo was trying to send us a message about exercising. Waluigi's, because I can use it as a sword. I just do whatever I want, which normally involves gaming, so I guess this is kind of a gaming channel? My favorite movie? Man, I wish I had a solid answer, but I'm not that into movies. If you'd stress me to answer, then I'd probably say one of the animated Ghibli films that I've seen. Not sure. If we're talking reality, The Dark Knight. The Joker testing his philosophy of anyone can be corrupted in a single day against Batman is one that got me really engaged. I also love me some good psychological warfare. I think a Mario platformer where you control both Mario and Luigi tied together by a rope-like thing could be pretty cool. Maybe one could spin the other around and toss them, which will send them both flying to wherever you release the first. Or if there's a tall place, then one would get thrown up and yank the other one to where they are, kind of like the Ice Climbers basically. One day I'll sit down and really give you all some settings I'd like to see explored in games. Monster catching series will always be prominent since you can never run out of ideas for new creatures to throw into your games. There would have to be a lot of bad monster catching games for people to not be interested in owning their own dragons and stuff like that anymore. Despite what I said, I think there's a lot of potential for the genre to flesh itself out. It just hasn't yet for some reason. Stupid Pokemon. Mario Maker 2 just has everything the first one does and more, right? Of course it's better. I didn't know there was a difference in the communities for both, so I don't have anything to say on that. I wish Mario himself had some kind of diary we could look at. We're not really given a look into his psyche that much, which leaves us to come up with theories. I'll just leave it at that. No, why would I do that? Hey look, it's Paper Mario. That's Paper Mario, alright. We've got a folded Bowser, some origami. This is gonna be a pretty good game. I hope. The longest power bounce I think I've done must have stopped at around 30? Can't imagine my younger self has gone any higher. This is the first time I've ever seen any of these series. Their art style doesn't look appealing to me, so you'd have to sell me on them. I'd say Super Mario RPG is a great introduction to RPGs. It pulls off what's to love about RPGs in such a way that if you enjoy it, then you know you'll enjoy more games of the same genre. Oh yeah, I do want to rank all of the Mario Party minigames, but that'd be after Identifying Luck from Mario Party 7 comes out, then I'd cover its minigames along with everything 1 through 6. Don't go asking me Star Wars stuff. I've seen the third trilogy, but wouldn't exactly call myself a fan. There is an explosion in one of the Danganronpa games that came so out of left field that my jaw dropped because of what was affected by it. You probably know what I'm talking about if you've seen the whole series. Ooh, 64 and Sunshine both do a lot of right for me. A comparison would be pretty cool. I obviously lean towards Sunshine, as you can probably guess from all my videos, but man, does 64 thrive off innovation. Maybe I should do a classic game review at some point. I'm always doing I always do this narrowing down my perspective to a specific part of the game thing for my content, but I haven't really done a broad stroke for a game before. The cars in Mario Party suck. I get why people might enjoy them, hanging out with their friends and such, but I swear that nearly everyone I've talked to that's played Mario Parties before 9 and 10 don't like the car because they know how fun Mario Party is when everyone is separate and actually in control of their own destiny. The most difficult boards to win at if you know what you're doing are the ones you have the least control on, such as Wario's Battle Canyon and Yoshi's Tropical Island. I wouldn't say that a board with a lot of events is difficult, rather that there's a little more to keep track of. The real difficult Mario Party boards are always the ones where the player, you, doesn't have much choice in what's going on. Waluigi isn't dumb, you're dumb. Supposedly, if a coin is flipped, then it has a slightly higher chance of landing on the side that it started out on. But get this, if you spin a coin, then there's a much higher chance that it'll land on the... I put hand here. It'll land on the heavier side facing down. I broke immersion, sorry. This side will often be heads, but can vary depending on how much dirt and stuff is found on the coin. For rock, paper, scissors, I found that guys tend to lead with rock and girls tend to lead with paper. Also, people tend to copy the formation of what they lost to. For example, if you beat someone with paper, then there's a decent chance that they're going to throw out paper next, so you should go scissors. This is probably some unconscious effect that's had on people when they see what you played as a strong move, so they copy it. You know, like if I beat you with paper, and you were throwing rock, you'll be like, oh wow, paper must be pretty strong because it beat my rock, and then you'll subconsciously choose paper next. Something like that. The ending, because it ends. A half an A press is half of an A press. No further arguments will be accepted. Haven't played them. I prefer my Mario parties. Sonic would destroy Mario 99 tries, I guess, out of 100. Our plumber friend just cannot deal with the likes of Supersonic, Hypersonic, or just about anything else Sonic can throw at him. Superstar Mario, Rainbow Mario, Metal Mario? Sure, he may be invincible, but he won't get any use out of those abilities since he'd still be miles slower than Sonic. The 1 in 100 chance he has of winning is if he somehow manages to get a solid hit in, and it'd have to be a pretty solid hit too, which means Sonic would have to screw up real bad. If we give Mario the Crystal Stars though, then maybe he could stop time and then beat up Sonic? Gosh, even then, Sonic's just too fast. He could prevent it easy. I love Mario, dude, but he and Sonic are on different tiers when it comes to powers and feats. It's not a fair matchup. I like them all. You can't make me choose. Haven't played the modern Kirby games nor Zero Escape, but I've been wanting to get into Zero Escape recently because it scratches that Danganronpa itch I have. Oh, come on. Do you really expect me to rickroll everyone right here? That'd be cheesy. I haven't watched the No Game No Life movie despite loving No Game No Life because I know it'll just be... I know it'll be over. I'll watch it when the second season is confirmed, okay? Knockoff games always rub me the wrong way since they seem like they're made to capitalize off of something popular instead of getting made out of passion. Oh, I didn't even think about Brawl Z 3 trailer. Maybe someday. To do that, you'd first need to force me to get a Big Mac. I said it before, and I'll say it again. The only Mario games that are canon are the ones with Waluigi in it. I really want to learn how to draw better, but as of right now, I can only make basic environments. Ask me to draw something human, and you're gonna get something kind of, ugh. One day, though. I love all the set pieces it has to offer, especially the broken down spiral. Cool stuff. What makes you think I'd ever give a shout out to you and your probably cool channel, Lunasticks? There's quite a few characters that feel like they need to be updated, not just Kirby, but if Sakurai is purposely representing only his games for Kirby, then by all means, I'm okay with it. Yeah, I can see how it might be petty if he's intentionally ignoring the modern Kirby games, but even... oh man. Intermission here. I feel my voice giving out a lot right now. That's why part of this is the one take. And I know that might frustrate some of you that this isn't fully getting edited. But after having recorded for an entire month, I've been trying to restrain my voice from going through all of this a bunch. So I apologize for that. I'm probably not going to be able to record for like a week after this. I've been trying to hold it back for this video so far, but it's been a massive strain on my vocal cords. I need to like, we'll get through this though. I can see how it might be petty if Sakurai's intentionally ignoring the modern Kirby games, but even if he is, I don't mind at all because it's, well, his character, his baby. He doesn't make Kirby games anymore, so he doesn't have control over the character he created anymore. So I'm totally cool with him doing whatever he wants with his own character. It's fine by me. I acknowledge how it can be frustrating for more modern Kirby fans though. Smash 4 was fun while it lasted, but man, does Ultimate overshadow it hard. Only played a bit of the first game, but I know it's a series I'd enjoy. Which is why I plan on diving into it in the future. Lava Lava Island from the original Paper Mario bugs me a lot for some reason. The Yoshis are the only saving grace for me, and even then, you've got to go on a search to rescue and find a bunch of kids. Sushi isn't interesting to me as a partner, and I don't find the volcano setting nor Lava Piranha as a boss to be all that interesting nor engaging. I don't even know where I'd start with a new art form, but I'm open to ideas, I guess. I don't think I heard any of those when I was a kid. I'm 21 right now, so we had the internet to verify whether something was true or not back then. The new Soup games just need a change in the formula. I wish I could walk into a boardroom meeting and say, I have a decree. You are not allowed to use the usual environment set pieces that you have been from previous New Soup games. Not allowed. Good luck. They would come up with something different, and I'm sure it'd be a breath of fresh air. They could also switch up the game mechanics too. Maybe add the Odyssey dive roll in. I don't know, could be neat. There are none, I think. Love it or hate it, it's worked for some people, so it definitely has some value, right? Simply put, Gooey is a cross between Kirby and a slime from Dragon Quest. Think about that. I've made tons of videos like that, many about anime and others about life in general. Check out pre-June Zoom stuff. I'll also make more videos like that in the future too. When I was like 12 or so, I got stuck on Super Meat Boy's second to last level for the main story. 6-5, also known as Omega. I got so mad that I smacked my Xbox controller into my table and it made a little hole which has been shamefully covered up for many years with black electrical tape. Joke's on the game, I ended up beating it. Fight Sans? What do you mean Fight Sans? Ah! Best Mario finale? It'd have to be Odyssey or the Thousand Year Door for me. Odyssey's ending was just so charming and reminded me why I love the Mario franchise. But the Thousand Year Door had a brand new boss that was unlike any other, topped with the heartwarming ending that tied off loose ends too. Dang, now that I think about it, Bowser's Inside Story had one of the most heartwarming endings ever too, with Bowser, because you know what I'm talking about if you've played it. I can't choose. I don't want to acknowledge Mario Party E. Zelda's idle animations are great. Mario's desperately needs work. Gosh, Mario just needs an overhaul in Smash just everywhere. He's outdated, dude. More references, come on. Judging from what you've rated highly, I'd say our tastes are pretty similar. Angel Beats, Madoka Magica, No Game No Life, Arrow Manga All of Sunshine's levels are about equal to me with the exception of Gelato Beach, which has too many bad missions. Why'd they have to go and do that to such a pretty location? Bowser is the best turtle design I've seen. He's too cool, I'm not sorry. Anyone who mentioned an L is automatically in the L tier, which stands for low. Everyone else in the W tier, because, they're the wieners. I'd make a Paper Luigi game where your protagonist, Paper Luigi, would actually talk and interact with NPCs. His personality could really shine through, and I'd love to explore a wacky world through his eyes. It just sucks seeing a series die, considering that someone, somewhere was the person that made the characters in the first place. Oh, I've got a good knock-knock joke. You've got to start it though. I could give a better argument for Mario Kart DS being the best Mario Kart game than I could for Mario Party DS being the best Mario Party game. Mario Kart DS was the first one with wildly unique vehicles that any character could ride in. It was the first one with Wi-Fi. Let's keep going. First one with retro tracks. Only one that lets you make custom emblems. And let's not forget the mission mode. I can't say that Mario Party DS did as much for the Mario Party series. I give that to either Mario Party 2 or 3. I find VTubers hilarious despite a part of me feeling like I should be cringing. I don't know, there's just something funny about seeing an anime girl freak out in real time over what's happening in a video game. They just need to get some facial expressions to better match the reactions of the people playing the game. They need to really take off more than it already has. Haven't played Tetris Attack, but I have played a bit of Puyo Puyo Tetris, and can I say that I like Puyo Puyo way more than Tetris. Maybe it's because I didn't grow up with Tetris, I don't know, but I feel like the Poyos they just feel better, Pianissimo isn't even a Mario character though. An update to my Mario Kart Definitive video would be a sarcastic 15-second long video of me going all the characters, carts, bikes, AMVs, courses, modes, and items that you want are in the game with perfect online. Thank you, good night. Yeah, I'm still salty about people getting mad at me for Funky Kong. Maybe I'll keep him out of the roster just to mess with them. Any Mario Party minigame I think of would either include minigames that speed up over time, like TikTok Hop, or, have mind games. Psychological mind games, Eggman is a threatening figure in Sonic Adventure 2, and it's a darn shame that he hasn't returned or, retained that same aura about him over the years. I wish he would return to form. Have you seen my Super Setting Sunshine video? I feel like that one might have a little bit of what you're looking for. Haven't played Nightmare in Dreamland, so I can't say much on whether or not it was a good remake. Wish I could say I played either of those games you listed, but sadly I haven't. I'll trust that you say they're good games worth checking out though. I don't think I like anything that has a poor public opinion, but I do want to clear up a misconception about anime. First and foremost, anime is a medium that covers every genre. There are horror anime with some of the most terrifying stories you'll ever experience. They'll keep you up at night. And there are slice of life anime, which are more fluffy and cute. There are anime dedicated to music and anime that just want to make you laugh. When I talk to some people that don't like anime, it feels like there's this stereotype that anime is always this silly, over-the-top nonsense that never takes itself seriously. When that's just not the case. That's like if I were to say, man, I could never watch Western shows because of all the laugh tracks. That'd make you blink for a second, right? Hey dummy, not all Western shows are like The Big Bang Theory, but that's how I feel some people think about anime. Death Note, Ghost in the Shell, Akira, Legend of the Galactic Heroes. I could go on forever. It's just frustrating seeing a medium I love get tarnished by falsehoods that have made their waves across the general population. If there's anything I could clear up about anime or its misconceptions, then please let me know. Gosh. Of course trans rights are human rights, come on. Xenoblade Chronicles is a massive game that I'm super glad got a remake. Now others can experience Shulk seeing the future where Nintendo gets bought out by Sega somehow. That was part of the plan. First time hearing it, and it looks like a fever dream. I don't know what's taking them so long to make another Mario baseball game. The Joy-Cons would function perfectly as a baseball bat. Soccer confuses me too, but man, I love the Mario baseball games. I actually like 8-4 a lot because there's this random underwater section that comes out of nowhere. What did Bowser do? Flood a couple of his rooms specifically for Mario? Speaking of which, he throws hammers all over the place. What a pain. Oh my gosh. You have no idea how much of a load you have taken off my back by saying that. For so long, I felt like the only person that's had a problem with a lot of the modern looks for Nintendo games. Mario Kart 8 was the one I pointed out in my Mario Kart Definitive video, where I said they were taking a strange, realistic approach, whereas Double Dash had a more cartoony fit for the Mario aesthetic. And not that many people seem to agree with me. Maybe dissenters comment more often than those that agree? Who knows? But I'm with you, dude. That squeaky clean look just doesn't do it for me. The vibrant colors and pixel sprites from before had much more of a cartoony feel to them that helped me get immersed into the fictional worlds much easier. Oh, the Kirby copyability hat is the best one by far. Rogueport is so hardcore. It's a place you'd never expect to explore in a Mario game, and it does a fantastic job at making you feel like you're in a rundown town. Like, dude, you are attacked upon arrival and stolen from moments later. There are lots of little secrets in this place along with the help center too, where you can take on side quests. Content galore. I love it. I thought the whole musical was just going to be them singing about what moves they were going to make. I am sorely disappointed. I do like Cool Cool Mountain a lot for the reasons you said here. My only gripe is I wish the teleport trick was a little more obvious so first timers don't feel screwed if they need to climb back up the mountain. Haven't seen Log Horizon, but my girlfriend's gonna force me to watch it soon. In my Super Setting Sunshine video, I go over how I think the things I like now were things I liked as a kid, but that I couldn't properly explain why I liked what I liked as a kid. If I had to choose something though, I'd say I've become more prone to reading text in games. Danganronpa is something I don't think I would have been able to enjoy when I was younger. XS Express, Glitzville, screw everything else. I really like Smash Ultimate's main menu. When you make a selection, it cleverly zooms in on the object that was highlighted. It's hard to see at first, but when I found out about this, I gained so much more respect for it. I main Shulk in Smash Ultimate because I love beating my opponents with creative maneuvers, and that Monado melds with that motto perfectly. I can jump super high and chase someone just to fake him out and start running fast, etc. All the options make him a super fun character to play, and it's because of how fun he was in Smash 4 that I decided to play Xenoblade Chronicles in the first place and loved it. That's Smash Bros. Marketing in a nutshell. Portal is awesome. What a cool idea for a puzzle game. I'm still confused how they even managed to pull it off, honestly. I won't ever forget the many different ways it played around with portals, whether it be those stupid cubes, the goop, or whatever else have you. Bird, you have been commenting so many times about Mario's stupid time machine. You want a 14-hour video about it? 14 hours? You ought to get into your time machine and go into the future a few years to see if I end up making a video on it. I hope you end up sorely disappointed saying that I didn't. I don't think luck's in your favor, man. I actually like the concept of Mad Space. 3 planets with differing gravities along with the TV hints getting mixed up every which way. Sign me up. The main issue I have with this level is how frustrating it is to navigate between the planets. I know the area at the bottom has rockets to send you up, that's good, but there should have been a few more platforms scattered about for you to better get around the place. I don't even know what a Wuppo looks like. The same way Yoshi does, like a good citizen. I've played the Mario Kart arcade game and it's actually pretty fun. The only downside is your items are present during a match, or preset during a match. A roulette will drop down at the beginning and may go, oh, your items this time are green shell and a banana. So whenever you hit an item box, you get one or the other. Something like that. Kinda weird, still fun though. Just dedicate an island in Hawaii towards being a tropical resort, and you're good. I talked a bit about Origami King at the end of my Paper Mario Designs video, but to nutshell it again, I am looking forward to playing it with an open mind. Parts of it look interesting, and I'd say it's almost like a cross between the early and later Paper Marios. Not sure how it's going to turn out. I'm hoping for the best. One day Luigi was born, probably, and he's with us today. City Escape is peak Sonic game design. Thanks for the checkpoint, we're making progress. A Terraria character, Hollow Knight, Cuphead, Shovel Knight, Shantae, Quote, Super Meat Boy, Madeline, Hat Kid, Speedrunner, Sans, Isaac, Castle Crashers, and a car from Rocket League as a joke character. Has some open slots for whoever you want. I have a game in mind for something like this, but I'd probably go a bit deeper with it. A remade Mario 64 should have a more alive Princess Peach's castle. Add more furniture, add more people, make it feel like an actual place that people have lived in. I think Nintendo's gonna double down on Splatoon because of how popular it is. Ew, why? Play Danganronpa, coward. What, are you afraid of being smart? Afraid of growing close to a character just for them to die? It's worth it. I think the first game hasn't aged the best, but if you enjoy it even a little bit, then I know you'll love the rest. I like eating cheddar and American on regular sandwiches, provolone for my Subway sandwiches, and pepper jack on its own. Would it be mean to say I'm not fond of any of them? I've just seen them so often I just got sick of them. This might be weird, but the part of the original Paper Mario that I remember the most is the intro, because you get to see how long Mario is falling before he reaches some clouds and then the intro theme plays. Makes me really want to go on a journey to kick Bowser's butt. Anything I do here wouldn't be able to top Brawl in the Family's video titled Plumber's Best Friend. Prepare some tissues if you decide to watch it though. How about I show you my Naruto cosplay from when I was in high school instead? I'll always remember walking through the gate where within seconds some guy shouted, "Hey look, it's Goku!" Dasani, I get my water from the moon Europa. Wasted potential is my most sad reason to dislike a game. 06 is full of it because of all the new stuff it tried doing, so now I'm sad. I don't know what my opinion on Shadow the Hedgehog is. I thought the levels were alright, but no one should have to play through Westopolis a dozen times to get the true ending of the game. They should have made it so you could branch off of any level you've already completed. That would have been a lot better. Sonic, I refuse any other answer. We need a non-Olympic Mario and Sonic game. I could only see a Sonic and Fire Emblem crossover work if the Sonic characters were styled how they were in the Black Knight. Get it? It was a... whatever. Now that'd be cool. How would the story work though? Fire Emblem tends to take itself a bit more serious than Sonic, and that might be difficult with all of them running around, you know, these little animal creatures, whatever. This might sound crazy, but stick with me here. What if Odyssey's hub world was the Odyssey itself? Maybe it's way bigger on the inside than the outside, or maybe its door leads to a different dimension entirely. Either way, the Odyssey would contain a large city meant for tourists to get from place to place. Perhaps with every place you visit, more people from that location can be found in the Odyssey, creating new interactions between NPCs and new goodies for you to obtain. Genres come and go based on how people are feeling, it seems. I honestly can't give you a good answer. I know how some genres are made when companies see, someone has a good idea and want a slice of the pie. Or maybe they really were just inspired. Who knows? I can for sure tell you that Bayonetta's impact on competitive Smash was nothing but overwhelming. At least with Meta Knight, there were other characters that were really close to his level. Maybe I shouldn't claim that, whatever. But Bayonetta could do some wacky stuff that over-centralized the game a bunch. I haven't played any Bayonetta games, but I've gotta say, she scarred me in Smash. I still need time to recover. I actually plan on watching Karekano. Maybe I'll make a video on it in the future. Who knows? Oh, I've played that Sonic racing game before. My main issue though is how the courses are designed. Sometimes it's hard to tell where you're supposed to go. In regular Mario Kart, it's pretty apparent, but here it's a bit unclear for some reason. Serena Beach is a super chill place to hang out, which is why it makes total sense that Boost chose it as their home. I wish there was another mission in the main area instead of the hotel though. Did you know that the third emerald piece in Pumpkin Hill is always underground? This is so players don't continue without the shovel claws and know how they work. It's also a great place in general because of the rockets that take you to the top of each mountain, which you can easily glide around as you check out your radar. I pin Pumpkin Hill as the best treasure hunting stage, probably. From what I've heard people complain about, World of Light needed some quality control on the difficulty of some battles. An actual story and cutscenes would have been nice too though. Haven't played Crosscode. Chess is my favorite board game and one that I'm actually pretty confident in. A blue shell as a fighter in Smash is the dumbest idea I've ever heard and I love it. I imagine them looking like the ducks from Duck Hunt. There used to be this pretty popular war game called The Undefined Army, or whatever that... I'm not doing this, I'm sorry. What game could I do for that? Maybe a Mega Man title? I've played Mega Mans 1 through 7, but find it difficult to distinct them from one another. All I remember is that Mega Man 2 was super easy with the Metal Blade, even on hard mode. I got stuck on Mega Man 7's final boss for a long time. I wouldn't be here right now if I did that to someone. I plan on watching my girlfriend play through Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, so I'll probably make something after that. Excuse me, good sir, what do you think about the Corona Mountain boat section? It's okay, take your time. Haven't played Grand Theft Auto. Man, all of you guys are doing a good job at making me feel uncultured. You should know by now that people don't know how to count, come on. I think mixing Tails' Sonic Adventure gameplay with Gamma's could be pretty cool. Imagine flying around as Tails, blowing up enemies with the small laser gun. Amy's hammer could be loads of fun to use, but only if she was made to be faster. Maybe Cream could have a different type of Chow assisting her with platforming?
By subtracting where it is
video
from where it isn't,
reads
or where it isn't from
like
where it is,
a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
It obtains a difference.
Is Waluigi in the Super Mario Bros. Super Show? No? Then it's not canon. Mario Party doesn't ruin friendships. It simply lets you know who weren't your friends to begin with. Kid Icarus Uprising, made by Masahiro Sakurai himself, is an amazing game that is woefully slept on because of its controls. I'd be okay with it getting a remake for the Switch just so people can understand how underappreciated it really is. The online was awesome too. Oh, I love a Kid Icarus Online renaissance. Getting to use all these unique weapons and power-ups in a huge arena was a blast. I've seen my friends play Star Road and it amazes me at some of the levels that these modders were able to make, really. I wonder if the people who made 64 even thought something like this would be possible. My dad recommended this game to me, so I might check it out, but I'd say it's on the back burner. Haven't played Mario Hoops 3-on-3, but if it's anything like the basketball I've played in Mario Sports Mix, then those are some good times. Again, Bobbery's my favorite, but least favorite? Maybe Mallow from Super Mario RPG. He didn't really leave an impression on me, and wasn't that useful in battle. I've got tons of Sunshine videos, because I think it's my first game. Still gotta check. I'm good, thank you. Worst thing that's happened to me and my friends in Mario Party is when we decided to play a 50-turn game on Bowser's Magma Mountain from Mario Party 1. Red spaces everywhere, luck-based roulettes, just tons of not fun. I know who Homestar Runner is, but I'm still so confused. Got one for City Escape. I haven't played any Mario ROM hacks. They'd probably frustrate me if they were too hard. Are the Mario Bros single? Are they really? I don't want to know what the Super Mario door handle is. From what I've seen, Sonic Battle's stories are segmented into different characters and are pretty short. Is there a whole overarching thing? Halo 3 was my first shooter and one I remember fondly for all the fun things you could do. My best memories of it are of me using the Ghost to run over tons of people and hearing the announcer go, "Killing spree." The best part, among that voice line, I'd often hear a "betrayal" and get subsequently booted from the game, to my confusion. I eventually learned that some players were my allies. Whoops. The ending. Luigi's laughs and tears are too wholesome for my heart. I'll take a look at Wii Sports Resort eventually, haven't played it myself. Mario Odyssey desperately needed to cut down on some of the really easy moons, and made the game feel a bit bloated. And this coming from the guy that 100%ed all of it. I got all the moons, up to 999, and the outfits! That was definitely a long shot since I haven't gone through either of those things. You are included. The best Mario render to print out is anything Paper Mario. Of course, just cut away the white outlines. My favorite Kirby game is Kirby Superstar Ultra. The build up to the mass DDD battle is Oscar worthy. 10 primary colors. Haha, very funny. We ought to dress you up in a white and gold, blue and black dress. My waifu above all else is my girlfriend. Nothing else can compare. But if you'd like a list of fictional female characters that I'm fond of, then I'll leave you with only 2. The first being Sachi from the Grisaya series, and the second being Kyo from the Clannad series, the visual novel depiction of her, specifically. There's a lot to be said about both of them for me, which will be said in the future. Blue Shell S tier, everything else F.
No.
3D World's gameplay in Mario Maker 2 feels awful. The only redeeming quality about it is the clear pipe. The car controls like crap, and the spin move doesn't help out much. I guess Builder Mario's pretty cool, but man, just make the level in New Super Mario Bros. Style and save me the trouble, please. I don't know how Melee has better online than Ultimate in 2020. That's crazy. Come on, Sakurai, go talk to some people and get it fixed, please. L is real in my copy of Super Mario 64. Haven't played it, but it looks like a cute, wacky RPG. Sucks for you. The eel did scare me as a kid a bit. Also, no. No! I don't know why the coins sound different, or why they made the coins sound so different. That's kind of strange. There's a difference in mindsets when it comes to controlling a character. There's realistic and responsive, with each having their drawbacks. Mega Man, for example, is extremely responsive in how it moves. You know what each jump is like when you execute it. Link, for example, is a bit more realistic in how he moves, which may look better on the eyes, but won't feel as tight as it could be if the realism was done away with entirely. The Chao racing tracks are great. I love seeing how the devs managed to make so many routes for Chao to race on a single small map. Music in a game is meant to evoke a feeling from the player, whether it be joy, sadness, laughter, or dread. It helps you empathize with the situation your character is going through, which in turn makes the experience feel all the more real. You got it. Here you go. Not sure if you can see it though. Or you can watch someone get a perfect score for me. Miku. Alright, so now we're going to have to get a bit more personal here. Alright. You know, I think I annoyed a few of my teachers in elementary school. I was always asking questions left and right, so much so that I got detention once, probably because I was too absorbed in what I wanted to be answered. That was my first elementary school though. I actually went to 3 because my family and I moved around a bit. The second one was much better. The kids there seemed to like me and my wacky way of doing things. I remember kicking a soccer ball so hard at the tip of a fence that it exploded instantly, which was pretty funny. Other than that, I spent most of my recess time in the grassy field just looking at ladybugs. I had a close friend who I hung out with more than anyone else. She and I once ran around indoors delivering cupcakes to the staff for the heck of it. I think it was my birthday, and they were meant for me, but I'm just like, whatever, I have extras. One day I told her my family and I were moving, and although she was sad, she said she wanted to make me something before I left, but that it'd take a little while to be complete. When my final day of school arrived, I was laying in bed, sick. My mom had called the school to let them know I wasn't coming, and that was it. Or so I thought at first. We received a call later in the day from my homeroom teacher. My mom shook me awake and said she was taking me to school because all of the kids there wanted to see me. I got ready, was driven to school, and when I entered the room, everyone was cheering. I knew by then my friend must have told everyone that I was moving somehow, but that wasn't the biggest surprise. When I got to my desk, I saw paper cut into circles stapled together, with different holidays drawn on each one. This was the gift my friend gave me. She said that whenever it's Christmas, to flip to the Christmas paper, and whenever it's Halloween, to flip to the Halloween paper, and so on. I was really grateful to her and everyone else. It was a moment, a time in my life where I felt like I really truly belonged, which made it that much harder to leave. But with a high five and a wave goodbye, I did so. I didn't ever fully match that feeling of belonging until I made my online group of friends in 2013, December, when I hosted something called the ZoomZike tournament. The friends I had in between were still friends, of course. I didn't feel fully understood, is all. From 2013, though, up until now, I've been happy. Especially now, because I'm finally, I'm finally going to live with my soulmate. He's just a beautiful person. And also because of you guys for starting out this, currently small, but this meaningful community to me. There were some comments specifically asking about June Zoom, whether it be my thoughts on how it went, a tier list of the videos I've made this month, or what inspired me to do it all to begin with. They're great requests, and I'll fulfill them all in the next video I release. But before we end this, because my throat, my throat's killing me now. I have to get through this. But before we end this, there's one last comment I haven't covered. Aren't you exhausted by all this? I'm going to be mean and respond to that question with a question. If you were picking up speed, getting closer and closer to achieving your lifelong dream, would you start to feel drained or inspired? Tired or lively? Exhausted, as you said, or invigorated? No, I'm not exhausted at all. At least, not mentally. Content creation is what I have my heart set on, and that will not change. I keep going until I achieve my dream, and I'll keep going even further beyond. That's the ZoomZike way. Thank you for being a part of the June Zoom. It means more to me than you can imagine. Until next time, take care. Truly, take care.